One of the most common issues we do see on a daily basis is called early extension. Early extension is a benefit that's going to help us improve our impact position if you struggle with the two related issues of the club face getting open, also lacking depth, and also the shaft getting too steep in the downswing. So early extension is a benefit and also an improvement to help us develop a better impact position. But what you need to establish first, root cause of the problem, and the early extension is a symptom of those kind of three related issues. Early extension, when we get to the top of the backswing, what you start to see from here, my right hip gets behind my left hip, then as we come into the downswing, my right hip's going to thrust forward too early, so my right knee drives ahead of my left knee, my pelvis starts to thrust forward, my hips start to extend too quickly, and then from there, legs start to straighten, the weight goes into my toes, just come off the ground, my upper body hangs back, and then from there, we get a position like that. So from your address position into impact, everything's moved too far forward. But this is a great drill that you can implement within your practice. You're going to place the club head against the middle of your sternum, so you're going to create a tail. The grip end of the club should dissect through your heels. It'll extend. The grip end of the club is going to get too far ahead of my toes. So really two feelings that you're going to try and establish in your swing to the top. Keep the grip end of the club in relation to where your heels are. Two feelings as you come down. Try and keep your chest more down towards the ground. And a way that's going to help us integrate that is feel like you're pushing your hips back towards your heels. So you're keeping your hips pushing back towards your heels. That's going to keep the grip end of the club behind your heels, and it's going to keep your chest down into impact. Feel like you push your hips back into your heels and the grip end of the club stays always behind your heels coming into impact. That tail in position, if I'll extend, the tail's going to thrust forward. The top again. Two feelings as we come down, feel like you keep your heels on the ground, and a good way to integrate that is keep the grip end of the club on your heels as we come down. Two feelings, you're pushing your hips into your heels, so I feel like I push my hip back, and that's going to keep the grip end of the club in correlation with my heels, and it's going to enable my chest to stay down. I'm pushing my hips back into my heels, that's going to enable my chest to stay more down to the ground. That's going to enable me to allow my hips to move back into my heels. That's going to allow me to create that right hip depth in the backswing. Grip end of the club is going to stay in connection with your heels as we swing down. Don't let the grip end of the club thrust forward, keep the grip end of the club in connection with your heels. Two feelings as you swing down. You want to try and feel like you push your hips back into your heels, so hips back into your heels. That's going to establish your chest to stay in a more flexed position towards the ground. So chest more down as your hips start to work back into your heels. And then it's going to keep your chest down towards the ground for longer. Hip into the wall in the backswing as we come down, pushing your hips into your heels. Grip end of the club is always going to dissect through your heels coming down, so push the grip end of the club back into your heels, hips back into your heels, chest more down as we come into impact, and that's going to help me keep my balance back. That's going to allow this right side to start to compress, feeling like my right shoulder works down towards my right hip, and then it's going to allow my chest to cover the golf ball for longer. So hips back, chest down, that's a great feeling that's going to improve your impact position.